I woke up from surgery groggy, stitched, and in pain. What I didn't expect. To wake up homeless. My phone had 47 missed calls. Most from my mother. The last voicemail was cheerful. Honey, don't be upset. It was for your sister's future. You'll understand. Understand what? Still dizzy from anesthesia, I opened my banking app. Balance, $12.14. My stomach dropped harder than the anesthesia ever could. I logged into my property portal next. My condo. My $195,000 condo. Sold. Closed. Transferred. I stared at the screen until the letters blurred. They had power of attorney for medical emergencies. I'd signed it 2 years ago after a minor car accident just in case. Apparently, my appendectomy qualified. My parents had accessed my accounts, signed the sale, transferred the funds, and wired every dollar to my younger sister. For her wedding. I called my mother immediately. She answered on the first ring. Sweetheart, you're awake. Where is my money? I asked. A pause. It's not just money, she said carefully. It's your sister's dream wedding. You sold my home. You weren't using it. You were in surgery. I live there. It's temporary, she insisted. You can rent for a while. Family helps family. I felt something inside me go very, very cold. How much did you take? All of it, she said softly. The venue deposit alone was non-refundable. Of course it was. Mom, I said slowly, you committed fraud. No, she snapped. We had legal authority to protect me, not liquidate my assets for a party. She's your sister, she shot back. Don't be selfish. Selfish. I lay in a hospital bed, for still in my arm, realizing something. They hadn't asked. They hadn't warned me, because they knew I'd say no. The wedding was in 3 days. 200 guests. A luxury venue. Ice sculptures. Imported flowers. A live band. All funded by my home. My sister texted me minutes later. Thank you. I know you didn't agree, but you'll see how happy I am. I stared at the message. Then I looked at the email confirmation of the wire transfer. They had forgotten one thing. The condo wasn't just in my name. It was held under a small LLC I created for tax purposes. And I was the sole managing member, which meant power of attorney didn't override corporate authorization. They hadn't sold my condo. They had illegally transferred company assets. I called my attorney from the hospital room. By the time I was discharged the next day, emergency filings were already in motion. And the venue had just received a very interesting call. From me. The venue manager didn't argue once I mentioned the words legal dispute. Her tone changed instantly. Ma'am, if there's an issue with the source of funds, we'll need documentation. You'll have it within the hour, I said. My attorney moved fast. An emergency notice was filed stating the money used for the wedding came from unauthorized liquidation of an LLC asset. That was the detail my parents missed. The condo wasn't just mine. It belonged to my company, and they had zero authority to sell company property. By afternoon, the venue placed a temporary hold on the booking. The caterer followed. The band requested alternate payment. The florist paused delivery. Then my phone exploded. My sister called first. What did you do? She screamed. I stopped fraud. You ruined my wedding. You funded it with my house. You have savings. I had a home. She hung up crying. An hour later, my father called. You will withdraw whatever claim you filed. No. We had power of attorney. For medical emergencies. Not to empty business assets while I was unconscious. Silence. That was the moment he realized. They had acted fast because they thought I wouldn't fight back. They were wrong. By Friday morning, the venue's legal department contacted my attorney. They made it clear, if the funds were proven unauthorized, they would freeze services to avoid liability. At 11 a.m. Saturday, 5 hours before the ceremony, the venue officially suspended the event pending payment verification. 200 guests were already in town. Hotel bookings. Gift boxes. Makeup artists on standby. And no wedding. My mother showed up at my hotel room, furious. You've humiliated us. You sold my condo while I was in surgery. She only gets married once. I only bought my first home once. She needed it. For ice sculptures? I asked quietly. She didn't answer. By 3 p.m., the pressure shifted. Vendors demanded cash. The groom's family started asking questions. Relatives called my parents nonstop. At 4:12 p.m., my father called again. What do you want? Every dollar returned. Immediately. And then, you sign a document admitting misuse of authority. And you revoke your power of attorney. He exhaled sharply. You'd really cancel your sister's wedding? I didn't cancel it, I said. You did. At 6:03 p.m., the wire transfer hit my account. $195,000. Every cent. The venue reinstated nothing. It was too late. Staff had been dismissed. Vendors had left. Guests had gone back to their hotels confused and whispering. The wedding never happened. The condo sale was frozen and later reversed. My parents signed the revocation papers. My sister blocked me. And my mother sent one final message. I hope you're satisfied. I stared at the bank notification for a long time. The fallout lasted longer than the wedding would have. For weeks, relatives called with advice. Some said I should have let it go. Some said family matters more than property. A few quietly admitted they would have done the same thing I did. They just wouldn't have had the courage. My sister didn't speak to me at all. Instead, she posted filtered quotes about betrayal and toxic people. I didn't respond. Silence is powerful when you're not wrong. The legal process to reverse the condo sale took another month. The buyers were furious at first, but once they saw the documentation, they understood. The sale had been executed without proper corporate authorization. Escrow released the property back to my LLC, and the title was restored. When I walked back into my condo for the first time after everything, it felt different. Not because it changed, but because I had. I replaced the locks, updated every legal document, named a neutral attorney as medical proxy instead of my parents, and quietly removed them from anything tied to my finances. They noticed. My mother called one evening, voice softer than before. You've shut us out. No, I replied calmly. I've protected myself. We were trying to help your sister. By hurting me? Silence. That silence said more than any apology could. Months later, I heard through an aunt that the wedding eventually happened. Smaller venue, fewer guests, far less luxury. No imported flowers. No ice sculpture. No live band. Just vows. And honestly, that's all a wedding ever needed. We haven't repaired our relationship. Maybe we will one day. Maybe we won't. But here's what I learned. Love without boundaries becomes permission. And family without accountability becomes entitlement. They thought I'd wake up grateful. Instead, I woke up aware. And awareness is a lot more powerful than guilt. Satisfied? No. But my home was mine again. And no one would ever have access to it without my signature. Ever.